Also, guys, welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be ranking Premier League fullbacks. So we've already done goalkeepers and centre backs. If you haven't read it already, make sure to go watch those ones. But now we're going to be doing fullbacks, obviously left backs and right backs, left wing backs and right wing backs, obviously Sheffield United. But yes, guys, if you're new, make sure to like and subscribe. The support has been amazing recently. We're on like 250 subs at the moment from the time we're recording. So you never know. We could hit 300 subs by the end of April, maybe. You don't know, but if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Fearless. So yes, guys, we're going to get straight into it with the first one, which is Wandasaka. Now, when you think about right backs, defensively, Wandasaka is your man. However, maybe attacking-wise, sometimes isn't the case. But I think with Wandasaka, he's either the top of quality or near the top of quality. But then I do feel like he's not the best yet. So I think at the moment, he's going quality. He's not the best, because if you're the best, you need to be doing it for
quality at top. It's that quality at top. He's been doing it for a few years now. He's a good defender. He's quick as well. He's good defensively. Just needs to work on his attacking game as well. Obviously, you've got these fullbacks, Trent, the one that can attack, Wandasaka, the one that can defend. Obviously, you've got players like Reece James that can do both, but Wandasaka, quality for now, that's probably best if, in case anyone else goes in above them. But we move on to the Wolves left back, Johnny, who has been injured for a long time now. But I think he's been good whilst he's been injured, but not injured while he's injured, but good when he's not been injured, and he's been good on the pitch for Wolves for a few years now. I think pretty average, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's not really any other tier for him. He's not underrated. He's not overrated. He's not quality. So I think that's probably the best tier for him.
Fair enough. What's it? I remember last season he was very good, obviously, with the five at the back formation with Wolves. Worked out really well. It did. But next one now we got is Luke Ayling. Now,
I think he's quite underrated in my opinion. He's underrated. True. He's underrated. I see him every single time, and he's so good. He's brilliant defensively. He's good attacking. He's a good member of the lead side. He fits into the lead system really well as well. And I think he really gets the credit he deserves because, he doesn't do all the fancy skills, maybe what Trent Alexander-Arnold would do. He's a traditional player. I like him. He's always got a smile on his face when he's on the pitch, which is good for the atmosphere and the dressing room. But we'll move on to Leicester fullback Timothy Castane. Obviously, we brought him in for a bench or a replacement. Obviously, there's been injuries, so we've had Ricardo in, we've had Castane in, we've had Justin in, we've had so many fullbacks in, we've had Marty, Thomas, we've had a lot of fullbacks. I don't think he's average, to be honest. I feel like that's a bit too cruel. Considering he's been absolutely fantastic for us this season. I think
quality. It's only one seat, or it's
I think
only
he's quality, but I would probably put him at the bottom of it when all the others are in.
Yeah,
because I think Castane, he's been fantastic. He's good defensively. He's good attacking. He's been consistent every single game. At the start of the season, he was brilliant. And then he got that injury, which kind of ruined his form a bit. Then he came back and he's still doing a solid job. So he's a quality fullback. I wouldn't say he's better than Wandasaka, but he's certainly up there. But obviously, for a few teams, we've got like three of the fullbacks with Man City and Leicester. So obviously, we've got different options to this. But we've got Serge Aurier next, the Tottenham fullback, the Tottenham right back, the former PSG man. I don't think he's even rated, to be honest.
Some Tottenham fans hate him sometimes, but then some other Tottenham fans are like, "Oh, he's not too bad. He's like average." I think he's average, I'd say. Or is he overrated?
I think he's not rated, so I don't know how he'd be overrated, to be honest. But I think he's decent. He's not too bad. I think Spurs probably should look for somebody better. But he'll have a few good games, but then he'll have a few mistakes, and you never know what you're really going to get with him. But I think he's average. He's nothing worse, nothing better. I think that's probably the best for Serge Aurier. We'll move on to Ayling, the former Chelsea man. Obviously, he's been to Torino as well on loan. He's a good player. I think it's a difficult one, really, because I've not watched too much of him, but when I do watch him, he stands out. He's a good player. He scored a great goal as well. I can't remember who it was against, but it was a great goal. It was, I think, his goal of the month contender or something like that. But He's a great player. I think average for now, just because of the fact that it's his first proper season in the Premier League, and he's not really shown too much. Obviously, in the Fulham side, he's got to try and be the better player, and obviously Fulham are got a weak side defensively a bit. So Fulham are a bit exposed. So he's got a job on his hands, and he's done it well this season. But I don't think he's. We'll have to wait and see if he stays at Fulham or he goes to a Premier League club next season if they go down. But we'll have to wait and see. Well, here's Andy Robertson, the left back.
If you think anything else, then I think you just don't know football.
Robertson's the best
Andrew
left back
Robertson,
in the world.
yeah,
he's clear. He's absolutely clear.
He might have not been the best this year.
Alfonso Davies or Tierney, he's so much more better than all them. I think he's miles
better.
With
Robertson, even though Liverpool haven't been doing well, he's still a standout player.
Yeah, he gives it his all. Well. He really does. And I think he'll make a few mistakes, but he does give it his all. He's one of their best players this season. He's one of their best players. He's made a great journey. He's just signed from Hull. You didn't expect too much, but he's been absolutely fantastic, and he's a world-class left back. And you must have credit to him. He's a difficult player to go up against. But we'll move on to Villa left back Matty Cash. Now, this is a bit of a difficult one. I don't think he's underrated. I've watched him in the 1920 season. He was absolutely crap sometimes, but sometimes he was good. I don't think he's really underrated, but I think I've heard what Villa fans have said, and it's just I think average is probably the best section for him. Obviously, the former Wolves, the former Fulham and Southampton. I think I don't know, to be honest. I don't know if he's better than Johnny. I feel like he probably is just a bit, because obviously he's been around for Southampton as well. But Matty Cash, I mean, he's not too bad. I mean, it's not really much to say with him. I don't think he gets involved too much, Aston Villa. So I think average, we'll leave it at that and let us know in the comments below if there's anything you change. But now we move on to Bulldog for Sheffield United. Now,
this season,
he's probably bad. He's pretty bad. Yeah. I think last season he was good. Last season he was solid. But this season he's not been great. He's diving as well all over the place. I've seen it against Leicester. He literally dived when indeed he never touched him. And I don't think he's overrated, because he's hardly even rated. So bad is probably the best section for him, because he's in the Sheffield United side. They've been terrible this season, but he's not been that bad. He's not been making mistakes every week, but he's decent. I think he's decent for Championship level as well. But Premier League, obviously, he probably won't be in it next year. So we'll move on to Aaron Cresswell, who I think is underrated. What do you think of him?
Yeah, definitely. The amount of times I've just seen him play, and he's just amazing.
He's been solid. He's been very solid.
And he's been doing it for ages now as well.
Yeah, it's not far off 10 years. And he's been a solid
10
player.
Years now. Wow.
Well, he's been around since 2014, 2015. So.
Oh yeah.
But no, Cresswell is a great left back, and he's solid, and he will always give it his all. He's never really been considered for that England call-up. Obviously, there's players ahead of him, but I'll consider him for it. Ben Chilwell, not being very good this season, and James Justin's out injured, which Southgate was highly considering. There's not many options in that role. Obviously, Luke Shaw, I think he's definitely going to be in, but. You never know. I don't think Cresswell will be in the England squad, but I think Southgate should certainly think about him, because he's a solid choice. But now move on to Charlie Taylor, the Burnley left back. What do you think of Charlie Taylor?
When I watch him as well, I think he's pretty good. I think he's average.
Probably average at best.
I'd say there.
1920 season, he was very good, and I'll probably say underrated. But this season, I mean, I've seen him get beat by a lot of times by wingers, so I'd probably put him in average. I think below Sergio Aurier, because Aurier's, he's done it for PSG as well. So I think Aurier's better. Yeah. I think Aurier's probably better than him, but Aurier, there's not much you can go about with him. So I think Charlie Taylor was a fourth from that one. Now we move on to James Justin, who's been very unlucky recently. I think he's underrated. He's been one of our best players this season, top 3 best players. He's been incredible for us this season. He's not better than Cresswell, but I think he's better than Luke Ayling. He's had a really hard job. He's been through quite a bit as well. Obviously, he was highly considered with Southgate. He lost his dad in the first lockdown as well. And then he's bringing to the Leicester side, been brilliant, and then he got an ACL injury, which has ruled him out for the Euros, which Southgate was highly considering. So I think Justin.
When is he back now?
Oh, he'll be back in about when he got injured, it was about 8 months.
October?
So it's it's a long time. It's a very long
Yeah,
time.
September or October, I think
Very
it
long
was.
time, and he'll lose a lot of development, but I'm sure he'll come back stronger and he'll be cracked at Fortnite
Yes.
like he is. But now move on to Teti.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was in France, and Fulham have got him. Not a bad
Mm.
fullback, but I mean, one season in the league, I don't think he's overrated. I don't think he's underrated. So I think average is probably the best section for him. I'll probably
Would you
put him
say he's
above
better?
Anya. I'll probably put him above Anya
Yeah,
because he has
at least
obviously
he's
done
had
it for other
the
clubs.
French experience.
Exactly.
At least
I
compared
think-
to Aina, he's
yeah.
been more of a
You can't really go
youth
wrong with Tete.
side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a decent fullback, and if Fulham stay up, they'll be looking to sign him on a permanent. I move on to the former Leicester player, Ben Chilwell, who's not had a good season, but obviously got a great goal against Porto. I'd probably put him in average or overrated for me.
The thing
Then
is,
he's
though,
better than
he
Matty
can.
Target.
Actually, no,
There's a difference.
That's a
Target
bit
can defend.
harsh.
Johnny can
Yeah.
defend as well.
That is
A lot
true.
of these players in here can actually defend. Ben Chilwell can't do that. I think Chilwell was pretty much bang average. He's not that great.
Yeah,
I watched him in the
see where you're
1920
coming
season. I've watched him so many times, and that 1920 season was absolutely diabolical. And the fact we got 15 million off Chelsea for it was brilliant. You know, he lost the ball 36 times against Southampton when we lost 2-1. That's like the same Trent did when he played Southampton this season. But that doesn't really get noticed. But I think Chilwell, if he did that at Chelsea, it would get talked about a bit more. But average, pretty best section for him.
I'll say, even when Chilwell does attack, it's always one of those. It's like one of those crosses that never works out, or it's a pass back and someone else goes for a cross.
He goes forward and passes it back. There's not much effort, and I've seen it a few times this season where Chilwell's done that. He's not really progressed this game, but yeah, I'm not going to hate on him or anything. I hope he succeeds at Chelsea or anything. Just because I'm a Leicester fan, I'm not going to do that, but hopefully he succeeds. But can't see it happening. Now we move on to Ryan Bertrand. What do you think of him? Former Chelsea man.
Oh, former Chelsea.
Yeah,
I didn't realise that.
He played in the Champions League final and they won it.
Oh wow, I know that. He's been around for quite a long time with a lot of Premier League experience. I'm thinking average.
I think average.
Maybe
he's not better
above.
than Johnny. He's not better than Johnny. He's nothing special, let's be honest. I don't think he does too. I think Chilwell's probably a bit better than him, but Bertrand, we are interested in him just because of the fact that we want to loan Luke Thomas out to the Championship so he gets a bit more experience. Bertrand, he's solid. He's not bad. He's been a great servant to Southampton for years now, but I don't think there's anything too special with him. I don't think you can put him underrated. I don't think you can put him any higher. I think average is probably the best section for him.
Fair enough. Right, the next one we've got now is Kyle Walker.
I think either at the bottom of the best or the top of quality for me. What do you think?
I think in bottom of the best because he's done it. He's done it for Spurs and he's doing it for Man City.
He's been doing it for years now, and he's a solid option. And he's
6
brilliant
years.
defensively. I remember for England, he was brilliant, defensively, and I like him. He's
quite
very
versatile
quick.
now.
Yeah, the quickest player in the Premier League as well, recorded.
He can play
right. He's brilliant.
He can play right back, centre back, even goalkeeper sometimes.
Just that once. But Walker, he's a solid option. I think he's underrated, but I think we've gone past that. We should put him in best and give him the credit that he deserves. Now we move on to the former Leicester man. It seems like everyone's former Leicester player in here. Patrick Van Aanholt.
I'm thinking bang average.
He's not been good this season, but he's been very good for teams like Sunderland as well. I think he's been good for years now, but this season he's not been quite himself. I'd probably say he's worse than Sergio Aurier. I think Aurier's getting a bit disrespected, to be honest. But Van Aanholt, he's decent. He's been a great servant to teams such as Palace and Sunderland, but I think average and nothing more. There's going to be a lot of players in average at this rate, so hold tight for that one. Stuart Dallas. The one that scored a winner against Manchester City.
If it was just based on yesterday, best left back or best fullback in the league.
He scored twice against Leicester City this season, so he's a bit of a nuisance. But he's not bad. I'd probably say average because there's nothing really more about him. I think nothing special. He gets the points on Fantasy Premier League. I'll just say that. But I think it's a bit disrespectful of Van Aanholt considering he's been in the Premier League for a long time as well.
That is fair.
Stuart Dallas, solid option. You can't go wrong with him. Probably let's move on.
Yeah, right. Now, the next one we've got is Lucas Digne. Now,
he's been injured, and he's been injured for quite a while. Well, he's been injured for quite a few times, but he has like 6 assists or something like that, which is very good for a fullback. I'd probably say he's better than Wandasaka. I think Digne, because he's been at the
Yeah,
likes of Barcelona, the PSGs,
that's
I
true.
think he's brilliant. He's very good, and he's good defensively. He's good attackingly, and that's what you want from your fullbacks. Obviously, with some fullbacks, you get one that's better attacking, one that's better defensively. But Digne,
Or you only get one of them. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. The next one we've got now is Kufal. Now, he's definitely underrated.
I'm not the biggest. I'm not on the biggest of fans where the club he comes from, but Kufal, he's a solid option, and he's been really good for them this season.
Who would you say is better, Cresswell or
Cresswell's better? Cresswell's obviously better in my opinion.
Oh, because he's done it obviously for longer.
Cresswell's done it for Cresswell's been consistent for a long time as well. But Kufal, solid option. He's been a warrior for West Ham, and him and Souček. It seems like West Ham are going to be signing all of Slavia's players because they've got a few good ones. But now move on to one of your favourite players, Reece James. What do you think of Reece James? I'll let you go first on this one.
As some people call him, Beast James. I'm thinking quality. And I'd say
I think he's better than Wandasaka. He's better than Wandasaka.
Yeah.
Reece James can do it and defensively. And he is a beast. He's brilliant. I watched him against Porto, and he's absolutely fantastic. He's really good, and I'd definitely start him for England. I'd rather start Reece James over Trent. Honestly, I don't really care about Trent in the England squad, to be honest. I'd rather have Reece James. He can defend, he can attack, and I'd much rather have that option. I mean, you'd rather have
someone that can defend, and you're like, okay, at least they can just try and defend it. Where you've got Trent, there's pretty much no chance.
Yeah, there's no chance. I mean, he's assisting players to his own goal, so there's no hope of Trent Alexander-Arnold. But he did score a good goal against Aston Villa. But Matty Cash, talking of Aston Villa, the former Nottingham Forest player, I think he's been quality this season. I've watched him a few times. He's brilliant. I wouldn't say quality in that section. I'd say underrated because he's had one season in the Premier League, and I think he's been good. But I think Justin's been better because he did it last season as well. I think Justin's probably a bit better, but Matty Cash has had a very good season. He's very solid defensively and attackingly, and that's what you want from your fullback. So he's been a great player for Villa this season, one of their best players for sure. And Villa have got an absolute gem, and hopefully he can be in contention for the England squad if he keeps up with good form in the next few years.
Yes. Now the next one we've got is Manquillo. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, Manquillo. He's obviously former Liverpool player as well in Atletico Madrid. The Spanish fullback, there's nothing really too much about him, to be honest. He was promising at Liverpool, promising at Atletico Madrid, but now he's at Newcastle. Just shows that promise hasn't really worked for him. I'd probably put him second bottom, to be honest. I think Tete has been showing a bit more quality for years now, but Manquillo, what do you think of him?
I haven't really heard much about him, to be fair.
That was very anti-climax. But look, he's not bad. He's not bad, but he's not really good. So Newcastle fans, unless you see something else with him, comment down below. But we'll move on to the West Brom fullback, Darnell Furlong.
Now,
what do you think of
him?
He's not even rated, so how would he be overrated?
No, I know. I'm just dragging him along. I think it's average.
Yeah, he's bang average. I think he's probably the worst one in average as well. There's not really too much about him. West Brom signed him off QPR. He's done a good job. That's all you can say, really. There's going to be a lot of players in this average section looking at the players we have left. We'll move on. We'll move on to Hector Bellerin, if you want to speak first about him.
This season, bad. It's one of those ones where he can be really good attacking, sometimes lacks that defensive. Sometimes
I put him in overrated or average.
I can see where people can see why he's overrated because he's done quite all right the past couple of years, but I think
he had so much promise. I think he had a lot of promise. When he was at Watford,
he could have gone to PSG as well, couldn't he?
He could have gone to PSG. He could have gone to Barcelona. He could have gone to a few clubs, but he chose to stay at Arsenal. And he's not quite got so much success at Arsenal as well. Currently, where the states Arsenal are in, but I don't think he's worse than Bertrand. I probably think he's better than Chilwell.
So
Yeah, I mean Bellerin, he's fair to him, he's been around a long time, since around 2014, 2015. So fair play to him for that.
And he
He
broke
can be
into the
brilliant.
first team as well, didn't he?
Yeah,
Obviously, as a
he
youth
can be
player.
brilliant sometimes, and but sometimes he can be crap, and sometimes he can't take throw-ins. So you never know really what you're going to get with him. But Connor Townsend, Connor Townsend.
I think this one's right an average as well.
It's another average one. I'm sorry, West Brom fans, if you think different, but there's not much you can really go by. I think Connor Townsend, he's a solid option for West Brom. Yeah, he's decent. Watched him a few times in the Championship. He's not bad, but I'd probably say he's better than Furlong, but not better than Anya. I think Anya's got a bit more spark about him than Connor Townsend when he goes forward and when he runs up players. But there's not really much to say about Connor Townsend. There's nothing really much that he's done that's spectacular in the Premier League. But we'll move on to Veltman.
Now, I thought going into this he was a centre back, but then apparently he's been playing fullback this season. Right. Yeah,
it's just another one of those ones that's average.
Yeah.
Again, there's not much to go by. I think he's better than. He's not better than Charlie Taylor. No, I think he's probably where you should put him. I think Veltman, obviously from Ajax as well, he did well there, and he was a very good player there and a solid option. He's consistent as well, which is what Brighton need for the players, but they also do need it in front of goal, and that's what Brighton don't really need with players like Mope missing chances and Danny Welbeck. And now move on to Ricardo Pereira. Now he's been very unlucky. He's been very unlucky just because of the fact that he had an ACL. Before he was injured, before he got the ACL injury, he was the best right back in the league. And he was better than Trent, in my opinion, because his defensive work was brilliant. He's bombing it down, and he's been unlucky because he needs a pre-season. He's had a lot of setbacks this season. He just needs a pre-season to get himself sorted. And before he was injured, he was one of the best right backs in the world. He still is, but he just needs a bit of a pre-season. He's been all right since he came back, but he's not been the same. He just needs a bit of a pre-season, a bit of relax, a bit of a break, and just needs a bit of luck to go his way. But I think, before he was injured, he was better than Digne, in my opinion. When I watched him every week, and he was astonishing. He was absolutely fantastic. I thought he was world class, and if he wasn't injured, and if he was still doing it now, he would definitely be the best. Because he's been injured for a whole year. It's a very long time. I'd probably say he's at the top of quality, in my opinion. I think he's better than Digne.
Yeah,
I think he's better than Digne. You can't go wrong with Ricardo Pereira. He's brilliant. He's very underrated, but just needs to find that form after a long injury. But
just get a couple of consistency.
It's hard for him because when he got injured, a lot has changed since he's come back. So. The system's changed, formation's changed, so there might be some confusion flying around. But we'll move on to Matty Lowton, I think was the former Villa man. Again, it's just an average.
This is right an average, isn't it?
I think if you were basing it off last season, you'd put him bad because I watched him a few times and he's a bit of a liability. But this season, he's not been too bad. He's been good. He scored a great goal as well, but you can't really. There's not much to say about him. I think he's worse than Tete, but that's where you probably stop because he's been around for a while. So fair play to him for that. But he's a solid option. Brexit defender for Burnley. I'm not really surprised.
Right. The next one now, Tariq Lamptey.
He's been injured for a while, obviously. But at the start of the season, he got a lot of hype. And that's strange for a player such as Brighton, because obviously you think maybe they go underrated or under the radar. But no, he's got a lot of credit for what he's done. He's been fantastic for them. But I don't know, to be honest. I think at times I thought he was a bit overhyped with the way Brighton fans were calling it. I think they overhype a few things, saying they'll get Europa League at the start of the season. They're in a relegation battle. So there you go. Calm down a bit there. But I think average is probably best for him. I'd put him below Patrick Van Aanholt. Obviously, he's probably been better than in this season, but Van Aanholt, he's been a solid option, consistent for years now. And Sergio Aurier, obviously, he's got more quality than Lamptey. This is Lamptey's breakout season. Obviously, Chelsea, you could say they made a mistake of sending him, but I don't think they did. I think he would have never have found that spark. He would have never found that form, that quality if he didn't leave. So there you go.
Coincidence with Chelsea youngsters doing well at other clubs. Moving swiftly onwards to Kieran Tierney.
He's in quality, but I'd probably say behind Reece James, I think, in my opinion. Do you disagree?
Yeah, I can see where. I'd agree with Reece James. Obviously, good.
There's a
very good
few
player.
times where Tierney's a bit questionable, but he's been solid option. He's
Is
been
he
good
better than
attacking.
Wandasaka though? That's the only.
Oh, I don't know about that one because
I
Wandasaka's been around
feel
since 2018, 2019.
yes, that is true. I do feel Tierney has had a couple of injuries and that as well. So he's
I
going
think
through one now.
Wandasaka, he's been very good for United, but I think because obviously United are doing well, I think you probably have to put Wandasaka above him because Arsenal haven't been doing well. Sometimes you've got to throw the question. But Tierney's been he's one of Arsenal's best players this year and last year. So fair play to him.
Out of a bad season, he's one that's shown.
You're a good player when you stand out in a bad team. So fair play to Kieran Tierney. But moving on to Jamal Lewis. Obviously, had a lot of promise when he moved from Norwich this season. He's not been very good, but for Norwich, he was very good. I think this season, he's not been very good. He's not been marking his man. He's made a few mistakes in Newcastle, and it's not quite worked for him. I don't know why I went to Newcastle. Actually, you'd pick any club except for Newcastle, really. I think, obviously, they've got players such as St. Maximin, but it might have been, it might have been the one offering the most money. You never know. Offering a better place. There might be other clubs, and Newcastle have a better option for them. So it's not all about the club and where they are; it's about what they actually offer you. And Jamal Lewis, obviously, season's thinking Newcastle, so he's only going to pick them. But what do you think of the Northern Irish left back?
Now he is a big, obviously, prospect. I don't know if since Newcastle, it's kind of his potential has gone down. I think it has kind of gone down a little bit. I still think he can be a good Premier League player. He's got
low confidence in a very, very poor Newcastle side, and it's not just the on the pitch; it's outside the pitch as well. Obviously, the training ground it's not been very good either. So he's got low confidence in a very poor team. I think it's probably best for him, but I think it's a difficult one. Really, I think I'll probably put Charlie Taylor above Dallas. In my opinion, I think Charlie Taylor has, this is Dallas' first seed. I think Charlie Taylor's got more experience, and I probably put Jamal Lewis below Charlie Taylor as well. That's just my opinion. But we'll move on to Ender Stevens, the other Sheffield United fullback. Again,
now, last season, he was I think he was criminally underrated.
But this season, I probably put him at the bottom of average. I think second average. I think Furlong, he's not really shown too much in the Premier League. Obviously, Ender Stevens has because he did it in the 1920 season where Sheffield United nearly got European football, which is crazy now when you think about it, considering that bottom and they're off to the Championship.
Second season syndrome, as they call it.
There you go. We'll move on to another one, which is probably average again. Let's start if these averages are something that you disagree with. But Joe Ward, he's been good for he's been consistent for years now, but it's not really too much to say about him, to be honest. He's just been there for Palace. He's not really had a standout moment in the Premier League, in my opinion.
I think he's better than Loughton.
Yeah, he's better than Loughton, in my opinion, but you can't really... No. I think I'd say so. I think Joe Ward has been good for quite a while, and
we'll put him there.
You can't really go wrong with him. Average, it's written all over him, to be honest. Average, I think that's probably the best option for him.
Right, next one now. And the name I got wrong. I called him Kyle Walker-Peters, but
Walker-Peters. Kyle Walker-Peters. Obviously Tottenham let him go, and he's been great for Southampton. But I'm thinking near the top of average. I think he's better than Chilwell. I think he's
better than Bellerin.
Yeah, I think he's been very good. He has been good for Southampton this year, and last year he's been consistent as well. He's a quick fullback, and obviously another one that could be contention for the England squad. I don't think he will get an England squad, but he's on the list for that right back position that Southgate has options with. But we'll have to wait and see. I don't think Southgate will pick him, but he'll probably pick the first two letters, two words of his name, which is Kyle Walker. So we'll move on.
Right, the next one now, we've got Benjamin Mendy.
I'll probably put him bad. He had a masterclass against Leicester, of course, but then he was crap against Leeds and they lost 2-1. So I think he's bad because 56 million Man United, Man City spent on him. And he's very, very good at Monaco. Don't get me wrong, he was brilliant. He was bombing it down that left side and he was brilliant in their Champions League run. But Man City, he's not been good. He's been a liability.
Not good.
Yeah, I mean, he was good against Leicester, which I'm not surprised about. He had a masterclass against us, but it is what it is. We'll move on to the former Barcelona right back, and who everybody rates because of FIFA, Nelson Semedo.
Oh yeah, I remember last FIFA 20.
I've watched him a few times, and for me, people only pick out his mistakes, which is kind of harsh to him considering it's his first season in the Premier League and he doesn't really play a lot for Barcelona. In my opinion, he's underrated, but he's not better than most players in average, in my opinion. I think he's underrated. He's not better than Ayling, but he's underrated. He had a great game against Fulham. He's had a few great games balls. He's been solid in this, but a lot of improvement. Well, there's been a few mistakes which have let him down and let his reputation down. But he's been good. He's been solid, but I don't think he's better than the likes of Bellerin and Walker Peters in there as well. So he's got quality. And obviously, you can see why Wolves have signed him. He's got quality, and he is Portuguese as well. But he has quality. So Wolves have signed him. Wolves sign a lot of good players. So it'll come good. It'll come good.
Yes. Now, the next one. Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Oh dear.
He's either top of quality.
He's in best. Let's face it, he's in best.
Yeah.
Come on. He's been brilliant. He's been world class for years. One bad season.
Yeah, it's like Martial. I'm thinking, one bad season. Yeah, he's not good. To be fair,
that's what I told you. That's what I told you when you were slating him. But when you thought Tammy Abraham was better than him, but Trent, I think he's in best. I don't think he's better than Kyle Walker. I think if you were talking of last season, if we were talking last season, I think the Trent would be in best. His stats that season were ridiculous. He was absolutely fantastic, and he's got the potential to be one of the best right backs ever. Yeah, with Reece James, not ever, I'd say, in the Premier League, but in the Premier League history. But Trent, he's good. He needs to work his defensive game, and I think he needs to build his confidence back up. Maybe it's with fans not being there. He's not been great since fans have not been allowed to attend football games, but it is what it is. He'll have to find form, but you never know what you're going to get from Trent.
Cancelo.
I think he's quality, but there's times where he's a bit overrated. So I think he's not better than Reece James. I think he's better than Wandasaka, and that's where he stopped, because I've seen there's quite a lot of times where he does make a few mistakes and he does give the ball away and he doesn't do well in the Man City side. When he has a bad game, most of the other players have a bad game, but he's good. And obviously he came from Juventus. Everyone thought, he's a flop after a while because he never really played. But he's shown his quality. He has been fantastic. That West Brom game where he played when they won about 5-0, that was fantastic from him. But I think quality at best, because he has made a few mistakes this season.
Yes. Right, now we're going to move on to the next one, which is Serge Reguilon. Now,
you thought was Lamella.
I don't know why I thought that was Lamella.
I don't think he's average. I think probably at the bottom of quality because he's played for Real Madrid. He's played for Sevilla. I think he's good. Obviously, he put a good ball in for Gareth Bale against Brighton. I think he has been quality this season, but I think he's not really made any standout mistakes, but he's been decent. He's been decent for his first season for Spurs, but I'd say the bottom of quality, in my opinion. What do you think?
So, you say... would you say he's better than Castane?
No. Not for me.
Yeah. I can see where you're coming from, because obviously Reguilon with Tottenham, same
Tottenham
Arsenal,
aren't doing well. That's what you got to look at.
Doing
Tottenham
well.
are doing crap this season. Castane's had injuries.
He's doing well.
When he's played, he's been very solid. He's been consistent as well. I think Castane, he's a bargain as well, Castane. So it was done fantastic.
Now thinking about it, if we're talking about that, with like Reguilon, then I think Tierney would maybe go down below Castane.
I mean, I'm not complaining if you think that. You think that.
No,
so
I just feel like I feel like if it's like the same with Reguilon. So like, I think Castane deserves a bit more better there.
I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it. I won't complain. But that's the final two options. Well, not two options, but two players. We've got Luke Shaw. I think he's got to go in quality. I think he's second best just because of the fact that he obviously. He has been brilliant this season, but it's just this season. He's been unlucky. The past few years,
He has been good the past couple of years, though.
He has picked injuries up though,
Yeah,
and he
that is true.
has made a few mistakes the past few years. But this season, he's shown his quality. He's been fantastic. He should be starting in the squad. Ben Chilwell, get out of it. Let Luke Shaw start. We want to try win the Euros. You know, we're not going to get
we don't
beaten
wanna
by
lose.
every good winger when we play them. So Luke Shaw, you better be playing. Gareth, if you're watching,
Yeah.
start Luke Shaw. That's probably best for him. But
Yeah.
final one, Seamus Coleman.
So,
What do you think?
I'm thinking average.
I think near the top of average. I think he's better than Chilwell. I think he's better than Bellerin. I think he's
Alright.
better than Walker Peters. I think he's better than Johnny, but I think that's where you stop. Because he's been a great servant to Everton. He's been Everton for a long time, and it'll be a sad day when obviously he'll retire and leave Everton. But obviously he had a horror injury a few years ago that was really, really bad for him, and he's recovered brilliantly from that. Obviously a lot of players, they have injuries, but some of them don't really recover, and they don't really bounce back, but you've got to have that desire to get back on the football pitch, and I think Seamus Coleman's had that, and he's been brilliant for Everton the past few years. Obviously Mason Holgate's kind of started his position for this season mostly, but he's a good option for Everton on the bench, especially with the age he's getting to, and he's been good for Ireland as well, so fair play to him. He's a good solid Premier League right back.
So yes, guys, this is going to be the end of the video. If you're new, make sure to like and subscribe. We're almost on the road to 300 subs. We're around 250 at the moment. So you never know, we could get there by the end of this month. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. If there's any that you don't agree with, put it in the comments. Have a debate. There might be one controversial decision in the comments, and people might have a good debate on that. But yes, guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.